No,
I like
we're not.
I like that one.
Me too.
She's back up, isn't she?
All I seen her was at
Dude,
the top of my phone, like walking. I was like, that's
look
all
at
I
her.
see. Oh no.
Fucking brat. Let me get her down.
Welcome to Two Guys Unfiltered, a podcast where trans people share their coming out stories, the funny ones, the hard ones, and everything in between. I'm Juju.
And I'm August. So whether you're trans, questioning, or just here to learn, we're glad you're here. Our guest today is Kathia. We discussed her passion for yoga and meditation and the complexities of self-love that comes with being a trans woman. Now let's get into it. Tatum is your partner, I'm assuming?
Yeah, sorry to leave you out the loop, August. My bad.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't live in Texas and
Okay,
I
wait,
wasn't part
where
of the
do you live? I
meetup.
was gonna ask about that.
You you could have been.
I live
You
in
could have been. He has
California.
to drive.
Yeah, it's not that bad of a drive. Like 2 states, right?
Anthony drove from Colorado.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
crazy
right
that he did
above
that.
though. California's sort of far.
Yeah.
That's like 5 states or something.
True. He could have flew.
The flu for 3 days.
He could have got on a plane. Mm-hmm.
All right. Are
We're
we
risky.
ready? All right.
Ready.
So, Katya, if you can introduce yourself, your gender, your pronouns, and your
Okay.
gender identity.
Hi, I'm Kaetia. See her pronoun. I'm in Texas and I am 26 years old basically at this point.
And on the form, you said that you were into yoga and meditation. Can you let us know a little more
Mm,
about that?
I don't know. It's just like really relaxing and very good for like mental health. For sure. It just takes you out of your thoughts. Like that's the whole point,
Mhm.
just to like disconnect from the stream of consciousness and just like breathe, basically.
And
Just to
exist.
exist, literally. Like, why isn't that enough anymore?
Yeah.
Sounds
And
calming.
it is, yeah. And what first inspired you to be into yoga or to try
I would
meditation?
say when I was in college, there was like these free yoga classes. I'm like, I'll try that. Like, I'm curious. I've never done it, and it was like really nice.
And how would you say you feel before versus after you do a meditation session?
Before, like whatever emotion I'm feeling, like if I'm angry or like anxious, and then afterwards, it just like chiller, like more chill afterwards. Or like I get an answer to like a question I didn't know I had, or like I realize something that, yeah, I like put the pieces together while I'm just like trying not to think so hard about everything.
And what do you think you learned about yourself that surprised you through like yoga and meditation?
I would say, I don't know, I guess that I just want to enjoy life, like just like anyone else. Just to, I don't know, to not take everything so
Mhm.
serious and just to breathe and just go through it.
You only have one life, so
Unless,
YOLO.
oh, oh,
yep. YOLO.
mm-hmm.
Okay. No, but like on the real, that saying is actually very true. Like
Yeah.
YOLO.
Yeah. It just
Yeah.
seems just chill, just
Yeah.
like at ease
Yeah.
hmm
for sure.
What about y'all? Have you ever tried it?
I've thought about it, but I don't know. I feel so subconscious and stupid while doing it.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
also can't tune my thoughts out. Like that's the thing I have the hardest time doing is like making myself think about nothing.
Like turning your brain off.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
do
Yeah.
it.
I can't do that.
It's like, it's more
Oh,
about like letting yourself think without adding to it. Just like let it go on its own and like
Uh,
focus just on something else, like the movements and the breathing, basically.
Then I'm
Yeah.
like, am I breathing right?
or you're like, oh my God, I forgot to breathe.
Yeah. I'm a
Yeah.
second behind. I fucked up.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like it would be like
Mhm.
for sure.
That's because that's how I am at the gym. I'm like, "Oh, am I supposed to be exhaling or inhaling right now?
No,
I don't know.
the gym is stressful.
You're all, what does my face look like right now?
Yeah.
And so, give us a summary as far as like your coming out story. How soon after did you start transitioning medically, if you have? And what's some one thing someone warned you about, or someone should have warned you about before starting hormones, if you
Mm.
started them?
So the story is basically COVID. COVID. And it's like, yeah,
Same.
during that time it was like, oh, like this could be the end of everything. And it just like everything,
Mm,
things still mattered, of course, but it was like if if I were to die like tomorrow, like what's something I would be like upset that I didn't do, or like what's something that I haven't been honest
Mhm.
with myself about. And it's like I've always like suppressed parts of myself, and I'm like, let me just stop caring. Like we're in the house right now, no one can see us anyways. So let me just do like what I want, and then slowly but surely, it was just like I started dressing different, and then just started, I don't know, just being myself. And in regards to like um oh hormones, I think maybe like 5 years. Yeah, been a while. Hmm.
That is a pretty long
Okay,
time.
well,
like you've
yeah,
been
I
on
think like
hormones for 5
5 years.
years?
Yeah. What?
Nice.
Well,
And what was something someone should have warned you about?
mm, I guess to oh, definitely like the mood swings at the beginning. Like just like yeah.
Okay.
Of course it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, your mood it will affect your mood, and it's like, oh no, it's gonna affect like everything. Like yeah,
It's really
yeah.
affecting my mood.
That's a big one for sure.
How would you kind of describe it? Like, how did you feel before versus after taking hormones?
Before, okay, I remember listening to like one of y'all's previous episodes, and y'all were like, you process anger differently. And then on the other side of it, I feel like same, because I used to, I don't know, everything used to feel like so dull. And that's, I don't know, I guess that was just like, my body was like, no, this wasn't right for me. Everything just felt really dull. Like I didn't really process my emotions completely. And then it was like, now I can feel like more of a range of other emotions. I'm like, oh, this is how emotions are supposed to feel, I think.
This
Yeah.
is what
And,
feelings feel like.
hmm so yeah, a lot more emotions
That's so,
in
yeah,
a good way.
that's so interesting because, yeah, yeah, like on our side, I remember before, well, it's kind of similar. Like, I feel my emotions
Mm-hmm.
more vividly versus, like, yeah, before you said it felt dull. Like, I felt the emotions, but now that I'm like in tune with my body, I feel them more raw,
Mm-hmm.
I guess is the word.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I like the wording of the feeling being dull. Like I
Hmm.
never knew what the word was, but I was like, yep, like
Yeah.
that's what it is, or that's what it
Yeah.
was
That's a,
dull.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a perfect word.
And another, I was gonna say like
Hmm.
one of the emotions that, obviously of all the emotions that you feel more deeply after is like happiness or like actual joy. Like yeah.
Mm,
Right.
yeah, for sure.
And what would you say are there any specific experiences that you had or memories that you had while growing up that helped you understand your gender identity?
Mm, okay, so this is weird. Not weird, but interesting. Always like felt not felt like a tomboy, but like I was like, there's something about tomboys, like just like the gender variants of them. And I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, the
The
vibe.
vibe
And
they
funny
give
enough, I
off.
don't think I'm a tomboy. I
Hmm.
don't see myself as a tomboy. But it's like, I don't know. I just like was always drawn to tomboys. I'm like, I think there's something about you that I'm supposed to be piecing together, and
Hmm.
I don't know what it is. But now I do. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Like,
That does, yeah.
always, like, throughout my childhood, ever since elementary school, I'm like, "Hmm." And I think it's because, like, that's a form of gender, like, variance that's accepted versus, like, feminine men, you know? Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's okay, kind of okay for women to be masculine, but it's not okay whatsoever for
Mhm.
men to be feminine.
Why
Like,
would you wanna be lesser? Yeah,
why would you
why
down
would you
your level?
downgrade? Like,
Right,
huh?
exactly. Right.
Yeah,
That's such a crazy complex to me. Like, really, that's how
right?
we're breaking it down?
Oh, the dog in the back.
I think that's just where like the misogyny
Yeah.
comes in. Is like even
Definitely.
so young. Like
Mhm.
that's
That's
crazy.
true.
And for like coming out a single moment for you, or was it like an ongoing
Definitely
process?
ongoing. Like, it was never just an aha moment, it was, like, piecing stuff together like a puzzle. And the
Okay.
puzzle I think the puzzle's finished now. It's like, I feel like more myself than ever, but it's still like, "Oh."
Now
Yeah,
you're
yeah, you're,
gluing
like,
it
gluing, cementing it,
and
yeah.
putting it in a
And
frame.
saying like, "Oh, I can
Yeah.
change that one piece if I wanted to," like everything's yeah, just a lot
Uh-huh.
more free now. Yeah.
And how did the people in your life react to you coming out?
Mm, I would say mostly confusion. Thankfully, it wasn't a lot of, like of course, that confusion is a form of pushback, but it wasn't like an inquisitive confusion. It was like, "Why?" Like, sort of like, "Well, I don't get why you would need to do that," or, like, "Why you would want to do that." So but it wasn't, like, negative pushback. Not a lot of it, at least, thankfully.
Okay.
With friends, um hmm?
You think it you think it was more coming from like trying to understand why versus like a hatred
Yeah.
why?
I would well, not a hatred why, but like a okay, let's see. If it wasn't an inquisitive why, it was like a just like think yeah, I guess it was an ignorant why. An ignorant why, not a hateful why, not a,
Okay.
"Oh, I
Yeah.
wanna understand why." It was
Okay.
like, yeah, just like,
Right.
I don't see why anyone would want to do that or mhm. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think that's where they kind of have to, like you said, ignorance, but like they have to kind of also understand it's not a
Mhm.
want. Like nobody wants that.
Yeah,
Like
no one wants to
it
go
just
through
you
this.
are,
Mhm.
and then
We
that's
have
just
to.
yeah,
Right.
interesting.
For sure. Um,
And what would you say has been the most affirming or joyful part of transitioning?
the best part would be definitely just like navigating the world. Like, I think I always thought I should. Like when watching TV, it's like when you're imagining which character you are. I would like see certain characters be like, I like see men. I'd be like, I don't really feel like connected to that. Like I don't. Or like another thing I remember y'all saying, and also something that a big part of the puzzle and figure myself out was like, would I see myself as a grandpa or a grandma? And it was definitely not a grandpa. Yeah.
Mm,
But I guess the
yeah,
best part
I had that. That's when I had like the
mhm,
realization.
yeah,
I didn't even think I would get that part.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I mean, fair, fair.
mhm,
uh and when on the flip side then what would you say has been the hardest part of transitioning?
mm. Oh, well, I don't think I finished the first one, but I guess it would be more like experiencing no, you're good, like experiencing, like, happiness in a more complete way. But then in regards to the hardest, hmm, I guess, and it's not the hardest, but it's, like, a very hard part is, like, just being honest with yourself completely, like, really trying to figure yourself out instead of just be like, taking the easy way and just being who everyone thinks you should be,
Uh-huh.
like, actually
The periods of feeling
yeah,
uncomfortable with yourself and
mhm,
battling the internalized transphobia,
Yeah.
breaking everything
That's
down.
right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's a lot emotionally, mentally draining.
It's like the waking up every day with like dread.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, a big fear I had to get over was like um getting murdered for being trans. That was something I really had to like overcome. Just like
Yeah.
that fear.
Because you see it
Mhm.
so often. Like that's all we hear about is black trans woman was murdered, black
Mhm.
trans woman was murdered, and next story pops up. So yeah, I could. That's a very valid fear to
Yeah, it's
have.
not far fetched at all. Mhm.
Mhm. And with that, then how do you balance protecting that piece of, trying to wake up every day and be like, well, today could be the day they decide, versus educating others and trying to help people understand what it's like to be a black trans woman.
Mm. I would say, okay, well now I'm stealth, but before I felt like I was really like answering questions that I didn't want to answer, like how you were saying, August, when people like ask things, it's like, oh,
Mhm.
I'm sure you wouldn't ask anyone else that, but you think it's okay to ask me because, yeah.
Yeah.
And in balancing that, I would say now, like, I definitely choose to protect my peace over like try to change people's minds because only person that can change someone's mind is them. Like they have to do it on their own or they have to want to do it.
Yeah.
Like it's not my job. Because I'm gonna
Mhm.
do what I want regardless of how you feel about it. Hmm.
Definitely.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think like we don't owe anyone like education. Like if we're giving you
Mhm.
Yeah.
education, it's because we care.
Yeah.
It's not a
So
necessity. This is not like science class. Like the whole free.
Right. Breaking news! On July 26th, a trans woman and her friends were out at a public swimming hole in Austin, Texas, when three men they didn't know began heavily flirting with them. The three men soon began verbally and physically harassing them. When a bystander stepped in, the man began assaulting him too. Although this case is still under investigation, we are hopeful that the Austin Police Department declares this as an obvious hate crime and the women get the justice they deserve.
So on a positive note, Italy's top court ruled that non-biological mothers and same-sex couples have the right to paid paternity leave just like biological fathers. This decision aims to protect children's rights and ensure both parents are treated equally regardless of gender or biology. It's a big step forward for LGBTQ plus families in Italy, where laws on IVF and surrogacy are very strict. LGBTQ plus groups are praised the ruling, while some conservatives criticize it. Overall, it marks progress in recognizing diverse families under the Italian law.
In other good news, the London Trans Plus Pride had a record-breaking attendance during this year's Pride March. It was established in 2019 due to an increase in visible acts of transphobia, and since then, the number of attendees have increased every year. In 2022, they had 22,000 people show up. In 2023, they had 25,000 people show up. And in this year, 2025, they had over 100,000 attendees. This is especially important as youth in the UK still face an average wait time of 2 years in order to receive gender-affirming care. So this big of a turnout is a reminder not only to the UK, but to the world that trans people aren't going anywhere. If you want to read more into these stories, the links to the articles will be in the description below.
I did want to ask you, August, how I think you said you
Yeah.
were non-binary, but I wasn't sure like how non-binary, like in what way.
Mhm. So I consider myself trans
Yeah.
mask non-binary. So I explained this to Julian too because he asked the same question. If like a stranger meets me, in the street,
Yeah.
I'm a cis man. But like once we're friends, once I like you're in my life as like friend, acquaintance, coworker, like I would like for you to see me as non-binary, you say them. But I understand that that's a harder topic for people to understand and wrap their brains around. So I'm okay with he, him. It's just a
Hmm.
preference for they, them. But So non-binary in the essence that like if you know me as non-binary, but if the limit is for you is trans man, then that's how you see me as well.
Valid.
We love it.
I would
Mm-hmm.
say, even though, like, yeah, in some, yeah, okay, similarly, what's the word? Similarly,
I don't think
Similarly,
I can say it
yeah.
like, I would say, yeah, anyone else, this woman, people who know me and like get it, trans woman, but like for those like I really
Mm-hmm.
like am close with, I'm actually like non-binary, agender. That's how I feel specifically.
Okay,
But definitely still she her
get
all
it.
the time for me.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
just
I love
boring.
just boring.
Just this straight binary trans
Yeah,
guy. Yeah. White guy. Just boring.
Hey, there's
yeah, we
nothing
need
wrong
some.
with
We
boring
need.
juju.
Vanilla. We'll call it
We need,
vanilla then.
yeah,
We'll spice
Right.
it up. It's vanilla.
vanilla.
And so what were or were there any like specific moments where you've looked in the mirror so far and like you're like, oh, I'm that girl.
I'd say those moments came like continuously, like just by transitioning. So yeah, and then so you see more and more like the puzzle.
It wasn't like a specific moment.
Oh no, definitely not a specific moment. It was more like a reinforced positive
The whole
loop.
process in
Yeah.
general.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. And how would you say transitioning has shaped your idea of strength, vulnerability, and
Wow.
self-trust?
Self trust. I feel like I have a lot more self trust now, but still something I'm like learning, of course. With vulnerability, yeah,
Mm,
that one, that's a juicy one. Hmm. I feel like I'm a lot more vulnerable with myself. So in that way, I trust myself. With others, being self is like that's something that I'm like working on. That I feel like at some point I would want to just be like let everyone know and be like because I feel like the way that a lot of people change their mind isn't like by watching a video per se, but like by having someone in their life and just knowing and interacting with them and being like, oh, well, like, man, yeah, like trans people
challenging
aren't
them.
evil. Like, she's a trans person, or they're a trans person, he's a trans person, and it's like they're just a regular person, literally,
Mm-hmm.
just like you. Like,
Right.
so,
Like I am a person. Trans is an aspect of who I am. It is not
right,
who I
exactly.
am.
So, yeah, at some point I would want to just be vulnerable, like being myself completely with most to everyone. But for now, I feel like safety is the
Mm-hmm.
priority. So yeah,
Right. 100%.
but this is also vulnerable too. It's online,
That's how I feel like.
but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right? Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's
That's
true.
a step too. Yeah.
Want to help someone out.
I don't know. I go back and forth with like stealth,
Hmm.
not stealth.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's weird to me because like I want to be like you said, like I want to be out there, I want to be vulnerable, like I want people to know, but then do I
Yeah,
want people to know? Is it
Yeah.
safe for people to
it comes
know?
with
Like
baggage.
it's very and it depends on
Hmm.
where you live
Yeah,
too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
for sure. Hmm.
And what do you love most about who you are becoming?
Who I'm becoming. I would say now, before it seemed like everything I did was just like for someone else. It's funny how like your transness or like I guess just maybe or I don't know. My transness is like connected with like my personality, obviously. But before I
Mm-hmm.
knew,
Definitely.
I felt like, oh well, my purpose in life is just to make everyone else happy, and I feel like what I want isn't important. I'm just like supposed to help other people. or like do what other people want, like very people pleasy, you know? And then I had to get
So all trans people were people pleasers, huh?
it's like I'm living my life for everyone else or anyone else, strangers I don't owe anyone anything to, and it's just like I just need to be like what other people want instead of what I want, or I don't even know who I am. That's how I felt back then. And then since
Yeah,
transitioning, it's like just like everyone else has wants and needs, I need to respect my own wants and needs too. And I had to. I guess
right.
now it seems like before I was doing things for other people, and now I'm going towards like the end goal of who I am. I'm like heading towards that, or like I'm just every step is an authentic step. So every progress I make in life is going towards
Right.
something, like towards who I am in general, like the whole circle of my life versus before it was just like random steps in anyone else's direction. I forgot the question, but I hope that answered it. Yeah.
No, definitely. Yeah.
It did.
I re- uh I relate to that too because when I went to college, like I went in as a
Mm-hmm.
nursing major because my
Mm-hmm.
parents wanted me to be a nurse. And they were like, "You're gonna make so much money, it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it." So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Okay, I'll be a nurse." And then like n freshman year didn't even start, and I changed my major. I was so like I feel like that was the first step in choosing myself, and then it was just like a domino effect of like, all right, change my major. I'm gonna come out as bisexual. I'm coming out as trans. Like it was just
Nice.
one after another of like, in their eyes, disappointing, but in my eyes, finally choosing myself and letting go of the fear of judgment. But yeah, finally choosing myself and continuing to
Yeah.
do so.
I think I'm still learning on the whole people pleasing
Mm-hmm.
thing, specifically with like
Yeah.
family, but like
Hmm.
it's tough for sure.
With my grandpa, actually, like we had a talk. Because he just like didn't get it, and I was like, yeah, let's like sit down and like talk this all through. And of course, like I said, I feel like the way people grow is to like be around someone who's trans. But I feel like the talk was important just to see each other's perspectives from like
Yeah.
just point blank to each other. And I don't think this was a people pleasy like decision, but it was like his thing was like, well, I don't see you any differently. I'm not gonna change like who I call you or how I refer to you. And it's just like I just can't. I'm not willing to make that change for you. Is basically the gist of it. And for me, I was like, I'm not gonna like fight.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna fight this for you. Like that's your decision. I'm not gonna try to change your mind because I'm gonna like protect my own peace. So for that, I like that was something I let go of. And I don't know, like, what do y'all think about that? Like, in terms of, is that not fighting for myself, or is that like stepping back from something that wasn't progressing? Like, what would y'all do in that scenario, or have y'all dealt with something like that too?
As far as like cutting people
Either
out,
cutting people out or like staying around someone who's like
is that what you're asking?
still doesn't treat you as you are.
Okay. So like my grandma
Mm-hmm.
still dead names me and still misgenders me. Um, so I was probably like I was pretty close with my grandma growing up. So with her, she's like 80-ish now or so. And so it was at first it was gentle
Mm-hmm.
reminders, right? And then it's like the first 2 years, or it's almost been 2 years now. So it's like the first year it was gentle reminders. I was even around her and she was still doing it. And then like we had went to visit or something and she was like around my nieces and she kept calling me she. And they're looking at her like, who the heck are you talking about? Confused. And then like it got to the point where like now like when she says it like I'll get angry or like firm with it and I'll just correct her. And so it's like contact with her, it's like at once a month and then that's it. And then I feel better about myself if I at least call her, deal with it, and then move on.
Yeah.
Wait till the next month. That's all that I've really done with it so far.
I've had to threaten my parents for no with no contact. Um, it was right before. because I got my top surgery appointment date. So I was like, okay, like I'm going to now
Mhm.
change my name because my surgery is coming up soon. I've been out for almost 3 years, so there is no excuse for you to continue to dead name and misgender me when I've already have had numerous conversations. I never corrected because again, people pleaser. I was too scared to. Um, the confrontation that comes with that. Um, but yeah, I've had to threaten no contact. Wrote like a whole paragraph and was like, I'm going to read it because I can't say it, and you know, and I just explained to them like coming over just feels like I'm getting punched in the face every time I walk through the door. Like why would you want to visit someone who's constantly punching you in
Disrespecting
the
you.
face? Like how
Yeah.
would that make you feel? Right, exactly.
Mhm.
And blatantly too, like you don't try to correct yourself after. Not saying I need an apology every time you dead name or misgender me. That's not what I want. Like, please don't give me a 5 minute apology. Fix
Yeah.
yourself, move on. That's it. Um, so I think since then it has definitely gotten better. I feel like showing that like I'm getting top surgery, I'm still on hormones, like again, continuously, wow,
Me too.
choosing myself and showing that I'm
Mhm.
doing that, I think finally like clicked in their head like, fuck, we have to get with it or we're
Mhm.
gone. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard.
It's tough, like, confronting
Um,
it for sure.
uh-huh.
Yeah. So what would you say you're still learning to love about yourself?
mm, gender wise. Okay. Yeah, gender wise, I would say my non-conformity. I feel like I read pretty like feminine and just like that's what I feel is more natural to me anyways. But I also forget sometimes like, well, I don't feel completely like a woman or a man. I'm just like a human and I need to like let myself be free to do whatever I want instead of just like, oh, I need to do this specific way so that I can read this way, you know?
Uh-huh.
I would say that's what it is for me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And what hopes do you have for the future, whether it be yourself or just for the trans community in
Mm.
general?
For the trans community, for myself, um, for myself, yeah, just complete self acceptance, regardless of like how I'm read or yeah, or what I decide to look like. For the trans community, I would say
Mm-hmm.
that we just merge into like society like everyone else. Just like even I know still like there's still queer rights issues too, but it seems like oh,
Mm-hmm.
they're further in regards to like acceptance or like they're a little more normalized in a societal sense. And I feel like
Yeah.
trans people are just regular people. Like yeah, that I feel like that's a goal I wish for the trans community
Yeah.
just to be normalized. Like we're regular people. Let's live. It's not like we're not trying to take over the world in any crazy way. Like no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just going back to the idea that I'm a trans person, but I am not a trans person. Like a trans is just an aspect of who I am. It is not the one being or
Right.
label that I am.
It just describes.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. It's a descriptor.
I try to think
Okay.
sometimes of like our I mean I'm not sure how y'all believe spiritually, but like in terms of the relationship between our physical aspects and like the labels we put on ourselves versus like how we would see our energy like or our soul. Like and if like how many of those things connect or how many of those things are just limits of our physical being. I don't know. Just a thought.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've never thought like deeply
Mhm.
into stuff like that. I'm just kind of like chilling.
Same.
But I'm like I'm open. I'm open to learning like anything or to hearing other people's like spiritual and like stuff like
Like,
that. So
yeah,
I think spirituality is such a beautiful thing. Like, I felt like in relation to like religion, where like you depend on a god and God determines whether you're good or bad, or you have to, like apologize for all your sins. It's like the universe is all accepting. You can do bad, you can do good. It just depends on what your intentions are behind your actions, not what your actions were.
I like that. It's pretty cool. Yeah,
I don't know.
I like that.
But yeah, I think that's all the questions we had for you. Was there anything we didn't touch on that you wanted to
Mm,
discuss?
no, I think this was awesome, and I'm so honored to be here. So, yeah,
Yeah, I liked our conversation today. We got deep about
yes.
everything. Yeah. Fuck
yeah.
the patriarchy.
Let people be people.
I just liked your answers to
Oh, thanks,
everything.
so.
Me
They
too.
were really
No,
deep
I'm
yeah.
sure y'all
answers.
She
say
has
that to
such
everyone,
beautiful
but thank you.
answers. Did you want to promote your social media? I
Oh,
can't remember if we
oh,
asked you.
you didn't, but I guess yeah, you can put my Instagram. Um, yeah, just if you want to see fellow trans person on your feed. Yeah.
All right, and her account will be in the description below if you want to follow her. But yeah, thank you so much for
No,
being
thank
on.
y'all. You're so awesome. You're
I
amazing human
appreciate you
beings.
Yes,
and
So
your
thank
glad
you.
I know
support.
y'all. And yeah, yeah.
So that's a wrap on today's episode, Two Guys Unfiltered. A huge thank you to our guest Katia for sharing her story. If today's episode resonated with you or reminded you of your own, we would love to hear from you. Click the link in the description below to fill out a form if you're interested in being our next guest.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs it. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Bye.